Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday Meal Prep Live. Come on in. Hello to all my new followers. I just want to say I've had a heap of new followers of late, so hello to you all. I go live most Sundays. This is a place that you'll find what I'm meal prepping for the week, what I'm doing for my meal plan, and usually I've got some tips, tricks, advice on all things food and meal prep. So that's really popular with everyone, so hang around for that, or you can watch the replay later on. And I've got a couple of other things I want to go through today as well. I'm going to give you an update on the progress of my mini cut that I'm doing. I'm going to give an air fryer update for those who have been around for a while and remember me buying the Crumble air fryer because it was non-toxic. And I've got the Crumble pans and everything, so I'm going to update around the air fryer. Hello, buddy. This is Murphy. He's not the one that escaped yesterday. Yeah, air fryer update. And what else was I going to talk about? Yeah, I think that was it. Anyway, before I get started on my mini cut update, I was watching a reel yesterday. Hey Becca, hey.becca.hey, I think is her handle. Anyway, Becca. I met her in America. She was in the business coaching group that I was in. Awesome chick. Watching a reel yesterday, and she's about to do a bit of a cut herself, and I just loved her perspective on this, the current dieting commentary, that she feels like, she was saying that she feels like we have swung the other way, where we've gone from diet for everything to now, because coaches are trying to educate people that dieting isn't everything, it's almost like we've swung the other way, where people are like, when they do want to do a diet or a deficit at some point, it's like, oh no, you're fine, you look fine, you don't need to, you shouldn't be doing this. And the thing is, and she's right, like I do feel like that's out there, and that we are being judged if we want that leaner look. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting that leaner look. There is nothing wrong with wanting to build that body. I am totally on board with the kind of narrative that's happening at the moment that she was talking about. The thing is, you need to be responsible about what you do with your body. And if you are out there in the gym and you want to finally see some results, you probably do need to stop the chronic dieting if that's what you have been doing. You may need to spend some time nurturing your body, but dieting is not inherently bad. Some people actually do need to start out by dieting because metabolically they have way too much body fat that is compromising them. So being in a deficit for them would be a good thing. So it's all about, again, which is everything I talk about. One moment, my chicken. It's about taking this generic information and where should it be applied for you. It's not a blanket rule for everyone. And the reality is, when you want to build a muscular, lean body and you want to look hot in your 40s and totally fucking own confidence, and I don't mean you have to look like some, jacked, stage lean person. I'm not talking about that. Jacked and lean is your perception, and it might be 20% body fat, I'm lifting, I've got good muscle, and my clothes just fit really good. You might be the sub 20% body fat because you want that really cut look. But to get there, you've got to be responsible about how you look after your body. And in reality, whichever body you're creating, most people at some point will need some of a deficit. Now, whether they start with that or whether they do it in the middle or whether they do it in the end really depends on where you are in the process, how your body stacks up metabolically. And no, we should not be dieting all the time unless you've got a really high body fat percentage and a lot of weight to lose. Then yes, obviously there's going to be a fair bit of dieting in that. But when you're doing that, you're likely to be able to build muscle as well, just because you've got a higher body fat percentage and your body isn't feeling as depleted. So it's about being responsible about the dieting and having a defined structure. Like, Know why you're going into the deficit. Know what the exact aim and outcome is. Know how you're going to approach it. What percentage deficit are you going in and why? What is your meal plan going to be like? Is it sustainable? Are you prepared to do all the meal prep and the tracking to ensure that you are on track and you are still looking after your body? Are you measuring all your metabolic markers, measurements, photos, all those sorts of things as well, so you don't, your head doesn't spin and go off the rails the minute the scale isn't moving? So dieting is not inherently bad. The way people are going about it is they've just got it, they're just misunderstood in the way to do it. To build a body, you are likely going to need to diet at some stage. And I am definitely on board with Becca that we have gone the wrong way, like swung totally to the other way, and now we're saying it's almost like that don't diet message is out there. And that's not reality. To build the body you want, you probably do need to do some dieting. There are a lot of you that are skinny fat and you might need to build that muscle first, but you would likely need a bit of a diet on the other side. Or maybe you're lucky enough to recomp all the way and you don't really need to diet hard. There are those people as well. But again, it depends where you are, and it's about being responsible, because if you want to build a body, you pretty much are almost, not quite, at athlete level. It is a skill to lift and build muscle. You need to know how to nourish and fuel. Nourish. See, I said nourish. Not salads and broccoli, and this is what we live on, and excessive fiber that grates our gut. No, we actually need nourishment, because your body will not build muscle without being optimal and feeling really good. It's not going to want to lose body fat. So there's all these different phases you can go to, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with dieting. We have just totally swung the opposite direction, and we're almost being told that we should be happy with where we're at if we're strong, got some muscle, but have a slightly higher body fat percentage than we desire. We shouldn't worry about that. You're allowed to want to look fucking hot, and you define what hot is. Just know that the lower in the body fat percentage you go, the more specific, the more dialed in you have to be, and you have to be prepared to live like that permanently. When you get really quite low, you've got to be able to stay really specific, and you have to do it in a way that doesn't compromise your health. And all that is very possible with the proper structure applied to your body, your health at the given time when you go to do it. So dieting is not bad. Update on my diet. So I have just completed, I think week 5 I've just completed. I meant to check that. I think I've just completed week 5. I lost a little bit of weight this week, not a lot off the scale, but it was 0.3 kilos off the scale, and I lost 1.5 centimeters. So I'm not worried. I'm in quite an aggressive cut, so I'm only doing 6 to 7 weeks. So I've got next week, and maybe I'll go for another week after that. I'll see how I feel. Check my metabolic markers. Where is my body at? Am I progressing? I have seen a little bit of a slow, because this is quite an aggressive deficit, so I have seen it slow down, but I'm still feeling really good, and I'm actually hitting all my strength markers in the gym still. So I've always had troubles dieting and keeping my strength in the gym, and this is where this generic advice shit comes into it. You'll be told that to go on a diet, up your protein, don't touch your protein, you've got to conserve your muscle mass at all costs. That's not necessarily true for everyone. I was already high protein. I have actually, very controversially, lowered my protein in this deficit. And I am doing the best I've ever done, because I'm listening to my body and I'm reading my body, and what it's done is allowed for more carbs. And when you have more carbs, you have more energy, which means I've got more energy when I get into the gym, which means I can continue to push and lift the numbers I was lifting previously. I'm not building muscle in a deficit, and I wouldn't expect to at this point of my training career or training age. I wouldn't expect to build in a deficit. However, keeping your strength at all costs is what you need to do. And I'm actually keeping my strength this time, which is amazing. Why? Because I've got more carbs and I lowered my protein. Now, I'm not saying I'm on like 60 grams of protein, because there are certainly some people that if they're going to go into a deficit, they absolutely need to up their protein. There are people that are like it. They're barely eating, 80 grams of protein. So if you're going to go into a diet and you want to do some body recomposition, for you, higher protein, if that is you, higher protein is probably the better thing to do for you. And you're going to get a lot of fuel from your body fat if you've got a lot of body fat. But I am low in body fat. Energy has always been an issue, and I already eat high protein. I've reduced my protein, but I am still within scientific studies, ranges of what it takes to build muscle mass, how much protein it takes to build, right? I only need to maintain, because I know I'm not going to build in a deficit. I'm past that now. So I lowered my protein to go into a deficit. How many people would you hear, or coaches would you hear say, maybe lowering your protein and giving you more carbs would be a better idea for this deficit? All we hear on Instagram is eat more protein, eat more protein, eat more protein, which is right for some people, but not for everyone. So to date, I've lost about 2.5 kilos, just 2.8 kilos. I lost 1.5 centimeters across 5 different measurements that we take. I've lost 1.5 centimeters, and my muscle mass is maintaining at this point. My lean mass. That's brilliant. That's exactly what I was aiming for. I'd like to get down to 60 kilo mark is what I'm aiming for my lean mass and height. So I want to get down to around 60 kilos. It'll be around a 15% body fat, and I would have held my lean mass, and I'll be really happy with that. And I'm very, very close. Depending on how I go this week, I've woken up, I'm feeling a little bit fluey. I've had a bit of a nose thing going on. I had a dry cough all night, and Dean is all snuffly and he snored all fucking night. I did my temperatures this morning. For those who don't know, your basal body temperature is a really good indicator of how your metabolic health is. So I've been monitoring that through my deficit, and I've been strong. Right up until today, my morning temperature isn't that great. It normally goes to about 36.8 post-breakfast. It's only gone to 36.6. But I didn't sleep last night at all. Like, Dean snored all fucking night, and then my cat that got out last night, she's got sunburnt, so she's not feeling very good from that. I think she's been very stressed because she was locked outside for over 4 hours, and they're not outdoor cats. So I think there was a lot of stress there. She ended up throwing up in the bed last night as well. So, it's been mayhem. So my temperatures are low this morning. If I get a better night's sleep tonight, I'll check them again in the morning. But also, if I'm becoming unwell with a cold or flu, that will compromise me as well. So I'll see how I go. If I get to the point where I go, you know what? My temperatures are starting to fail for me, because I had some adrenal fatigue and some back issues. I haven't dieted in 2.5 years, by the way. I have been questioned over why I am dieting, but I haven't dieted for 2.5 years. So again, going back to the conversation around what Becca sparked, was sometimes people haven't dieted for a very long time, and there's nothing wrong with getting into a deficit at all. And for me, I have had a lot of questions over, but why are you dieting? You look fine. Well, you don't get to tell me what I am comfortable with. And my reason for going into a diet is because I'm in between 2 clothes sizes, and it's driving me fucking nuts. Nothing sits nicely. And post my back, so for those of you who don't know, I had a spinal injury. I didn't walk for 2 months because doctors were misdiagnosing me and refuse to scan me. Ended up getting a scan, blown out a disc, severe rupture, went to surgery. And I've then had to rehab and everything. So obviously through that, I lost muscle mass and gained some body fat. So my first port of call was build the muscle back. I was not worried about the body fat, was not worried about what I look. I needed to build my muscle mass back. It's been a year since I hurt my back. So I've spent all this time, that includes the back injury period. So it started to go in the July, and it wasn't until the early September that they actually finally did surgery on me. When they scanned me, I was rushed to emergency surgery because they realized how bad it was. So July last year, that started to happen. So So in over a year, I have had the back injury, but also then come out of it and focused on muscle building. But through that muscle building, some of my body fat came down, which has been fantastic, but it's not quite where it was before. Hence, I'm in between two sizes of clothes. Nothing fits nice. You don't feel good when your clothes are either tight on you or baggy on you, and you don't feel good. You can lack some confidence. You know, I want to feel great. I want to feel hot in my 50s. Why not? Why fucking not? I work hard for that. I want my look to reflect that. And part of that is my clothes fitting properly. And it's not about just go and buy a size that fits you, because I've got two different sizes just in between. So that is why I am dieting. One moment, chicken. Right, so my chicken is ready. So it's just about being responsible. And now that I'm going, I'm getting sick, sleep was disrupted, I need to keep a closer eye on my metabolic health. And I will not compromise my metabolic health for the sake of squeezing out an extra 2 weeks of a diet when I can come out, because I'm going away on a holiday soon as well. I'm going back to Perth to see my family, and then I'm going to Canberra for my son's graduation. So we're doing all that together. So it's not really a holiday. But I'm not gonna be in a deficit while I'm on a holiday. Fuck that. Who wants to do that? So for me, it is do what I can now, and then go on my holiday, come back, get really strong again. And then if I feel like I want to push it a little bit more, I can later on. I'm just not going to rush this process. So I'm being responsible about it and caring for my health. My look doesn't outweigh my health, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to diet. Just be responsible about it and know what you're doing. You know, and it's even like builds. I was talking to a woman in the DMs the other day. She hasn't been lifting that long. She's been seeing results. She's getting stronger. She said it's all good. And then she goes, so I think I might do a build for 16 weeks. 16 weeks for muscle building is nowhere near long enough. You want absolute minimum 6 months, or it's not worth doing. Because if you're going to go into a build with surplus calories, you're going to add body fat. And then you've got to do a diet on the end to pull that down, unless your intention is you want a higher body fat percentage as well. And most of the time when people are talking about going into a surplus and a build, that's not the case, all right? They want to be leaner, so they're trying to get more muscle. But why would you go into a build with surplus to add body fat if you're already progressing? Like, unless you've actually been getting results in building for a good 2 years and now you've started to stall, you don't need to go into a surplus. Absolutely do not need to. People have got this perception that the only way to build muscle is to be in surplus calories. No, that doesn't apply to everyone. Again, who are you? Where are you at? What is your health like? What are your strength markers like? How long have you been training for? Are you in a true stall, or is it just that there's something that needs tweaking to progress you? Or do you actually need to build? And I'll be honest, unless you've been getting muscle gains for 2 years and then started to stall and are lagging in energy when you're trying to push in the gym, then you shouldn't need a surplus, okay? So have a think about applying it to you at the right time. And if you ever want any tips, I'm always in my DMs chatting to everyone. So feel free to jump in and, you know, ask me questions, have a chat. I love a chat. I was always told I talk too much at school. So,
yeah.
Dean, yeah, I do. I love to have a chat with people. So don't be afraid to jump into my DMs if you've got questions about it. I've also got plenty of free resources around a lot of these topics that I can send you. Got an amazing podcast that breaks down a lot of this sort of stuff as well. Again, because I love to chat. I love doing podcasts. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's my soapbox rant for the week on dieting is not wrong. It's just how you go about it, so be responsible. Update on my air fryer. So a while ago, any of you have been around for a while, you might know that I went down the whole path of I wanted non-toxic pans and a non-toxic air fryer. So the further into my health journey I go, and it's been years and years now, but I try and eat clean products, try and eat clean food without additives, preservatives, seed oils, all those sorts of things wherever possible. I've swapped out a lot of household cleaning products, a lot of personal body products. Saturé, by the way, are amazing for their skincare. I love their products. But I do it where it works. I've not been able to find a shampoo. I'm quite particular about my hair. I've not been able to find a clean shampoo that I like for my hair, so it ain't happening until I find one of them. Anyway, I went down the path of wanting non-toxic pans, and my frying pans and everything needed replacing. So I used Crumble. They're an Australian company. The pans have been really good. I like their pans, but I bought their air fryer. And the air fryer was a piece of shit, to be honest. It didn't get very hot at all. It started cracking around the handle, so it was dangerous because if that basket is loaded and you pull the handle out, it was now compromised. It was steaming and leaking everywhere on the bench. God only knows where it was going on the inside. And unfortunately, Crumble were an absolute nightmare to deal with. This was a poor design. And probably faulty product, and they kept saying no, they weren't going to let me return it because it wasn't within the 14-day change your mind period. I'm like, I didn't fucking change my mind. This isn't a safe product. Took me going to the ACCC and lodging a complaint, sent them the number and said, this is my complaint number. I've now lodged it with the ACCC, quoted them all the legislation of which my complaint fell under and it should have been refunded. And the second I did that, they went, oh, here's your money back. Arseholes, absolute arseholes to deal with, by the way. Love their pans, but they're arseholes to deal with. Air fryer went back. I'm back to a cheap, crappy, it is just a cheap, crappy Kmart one, but all of them are like the Teflon lined, and that's what I was trying to avoid. And another coach, Layla Lutz, told me that Ninja Crispy was really good, and it's a glass bowl, which is amazing, but it was just too small. So they have come out with a Ninja Crispy Pro, much bigger, will do for Dean and I, but they're just sold out in Australia at the moment, so we're waiting for more stock. I have one on pre-order. I will do a whole thing on it for anyone who's interested on a non-toxic air fryer, because that's become a really big thing with air fryers, that people have realised how many toxic chemicals are in like the coatings and all that sort of stuff. So I've gone down that path. They're meant to be amazing. I'll give you my thoughts on it when I get it, but it's a couple of weeks away still. So anyway, my meal plan this week. All right, so when I go into a deficit, I don't really change what I eat. If you're nailing what you eat at maintenance, you shouldn't actually have to change much. So I do simple things like where I have honey, maple syrup, that sort of stuff. I remove those because it's low volume for really high caloric count. I don't drink my calories, so I usually drink coconut water and juice. I remove that as well. So there's some really simple, easy things to do. Turn everything into low fat. I generally don't eat cheese. I do have Parmesan in this one, but Parmesan cheese is really low fat, so that's quite helpful. Yeah, so they're the sorts of things I do in a deficit, but I pretty much eat similar things. So my breakfast is Greek yogurt with frozen berries. Now, I thaw the berries, even if they're fresh berries. Anyway, I thaw the berries out and I crush it down so all the juices come out, and then I fold the Greek yogurt through it, so it's not as tart then, because just eating straight Greek yogurt isn't great. Normally, I would have honey on it as well, but being in a deficit, I want to save those calories. So I'm still getting the same big bowl of Greek yogurt and all these yummy berries. I'm just not having the honey with it. If I do want a little bit of sweetener, I use pure monk fruit powder. I just personally prefer the powder over the liquid. You could use liquid, but please, pure, and don't go putting it in fucking everything. It is not good to use excessively. I don't use it in the Greek yogurt. I'm actually really happy with just the berries folded through it. Yes, I love it with my honey. Yes, I do like it a little bit sweeter, but at the end of the day, I'm in a short, defined period of time, and this is not the norm. So I do have to accept there are some compromises in my foods. I still eat fairly much similar things, but there are some compromises. So I'm doing the yogurt bowl with berries, but then I'm also doing a potato I just cook it off like a small potato, cooked off in the microwave. I've got this waffle iron, this little waffle maker. It's a little single one. It's so cute, so good. Just a cheap little $15 one from Kmart. I just put some Parmesan cheese on the bottom, put the potato in, squash it down, reopen it, put a good amount of just plain sea salt, bit more Parmesan cheese, put it back down, and the between the skin and the Parmesan cheese, it keeps it all held together. So once all the Parmesan cheese has gone really brown and crispy, you open it up, pull it out, let it cool off, and it's nice and crispy on the outside. It's almost like a potato gem, but super, super healthy. It's not shitty oils, it's not deep fried, and it's got minimal fat because Parmesan cheese doesn't have much fat. So that's what I have every morning, and I do have an espresso shot as well because coffee is amazing for you, and yes, if you're having just coffee, milk and sugar with it is a great idea, but at the end of the day, if you're fueling yourself and having it with food, you don't have to have it with milk and sugar. And I personally never have sugar in my coffee because don't fuck with the coffee as far as I'm concerned. So that's what I have for breakfast. I do have a milk coffee for morning tea and my carrot salad. Carrot salad is excellent for keeping your digestion going, liver detoxification, excess estrogen detoxification. It's like a little scrubbing brush for your insides. Those of you who don't know about it, message me the word carrot and I'll send you a whole thing on it. A simple carrot salad is amazing for hormones detoxing and keeping your bowels moving, especially in a deficit. You'll find that your bowels will slow down. I've actually got a question here. Oh, so someone here, actually this is really good timing that I'm reading this. So someone here has said, can you tell me how to remove excess toxins from your body by using natural foods and how to shift on natural foods from ketosis? Or do you mean keto diet? Firstly, our bodies are amazingly designed, and we naturally detox. So it depends what you mean by removing toxins. So if you're talking about just general toxins in your body that are created through digestion, the first thing we want is you need to be going to the toilet every day. You need to do a poo every day, and having a poo anywhere between 1 to 3 times a day is actually normal. Not going every day or not feeling like you're fully emptied, you have an issue. Now, I was just talking about the carrot salad. That will absolutely help with detoxing, help your liver. So your liver and your gut will actually detox. So if you've got gut issues like constant bloat, some sort of dysbiosis, digestion issues, like maybe you get a lot of reflux or gas, bloating, any of that, your gut isn't doing well. So that's one level where your body won't be detoxing because it's compromised. And then the second level is where you've got your liver detoxification and your bowels emptying. If we give our body the proper nutrients most of the time, our body will naturally detox anything we put into it. So if we're talking about toxins from, say, preservatives, additives, things like that, I've got that out of my daily diet. I don't have any of that with what I cook at home. Maybe a very odd thing, but I spent some time going through finding products that were a lot more clean in comparison, even down to like tin tomatoes. You can buy a set of tin tomatoes that is just tin tomatoes and puree, or you can buy some tin tomatoes that have also got citric acid added for a preservative. Well, which one do you want? Because if everything we touch has just a little bit in it, and I know there's the whole thing about in small amounts, it's actually fine for you, it doesn't hurt your body. No, it probably doesn't, but when it's in every fucking product that you eat, you're overloading your body. So it's about, one, don't overload your body. Try and get your products as clean as possible. And then when you go out or you eat at someone's house, don't fucking worry about it, because your body will detox it because it's not being assaulted with every single food that you put into your body as processed and having additives. Someone is at my front door. The next thing, one moment. Dean? Yeah. Carrot salad will help you detox, but it's just about giving your body the proper nutrients to function, and it will naturally detox. For the person who was asking about that, if you just flick me the word optimal, I will then send you a guide on basic foods that would deliver lots and lots of nutrients for you. Hello, darling. My daughter's just stopped over for a visit. I'm so... Oh, she's not even here to see me. She's here to see the cat because she was traumatised. Nice, thanks. I thought you were here to see me.
I can see you too.
Come say hi to Instagram, baby.
Hello.
This is the cat that escaped yesterday. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'll be with you soon.
That's the cat. I literally came to say hi to the cat.
Are you going again?
No, I'm getting my stuff.
Oh. All right, so that's a bit about detox. If you flick me a message, I'll help you. That the foundations of detoxing is support your body with just normal fucking food. Don't overdo it in fiber. Everyone's about, getting mass amounts of fiber. If you've got gut issues, that's probably the last thing you want to do. You want to let that calm down. I can have a chat with you more specifically about yours. If you're on a keto diet, you are missing for ketosis, you are missing mass amounts of nutrients. And the first thing you need to do is rectify that. And that would be slowly changing from keto diet into just normal fucking food, balanced, not restrictive. They are the absolute key to keeping your body detoxed. So that's that question. Sharon, I will send you the carrot document when I jump off of this call for sure. Yeah, so yogurt and berries, have my coffee. Then what else am I having? Just trying to get my screen back. Lunch at the moment is I'm doing turkey mince, and I just put some garlic, onion powder, salt, fry it off. So turkey mince and pumpkin soup. I was making my pumpkin soup, but given I'm in a diet, low energy does become an issue. So I found a really good product. For those of you in Australia, this is at Coles and Woolies. This brand, it actually tastes quite nice. I put lots of salt and pepper with it. Then put some Parmesan cheese. I don't, because that just doesn't fit my macros at the moment. But if you're not dieting, these are fucking great, and it saves me so much time of not having to cook soup myself at the moment. I will say I do still prefer my home cooked pumpkin soup, but at the moment it was a balance between what do I do with being low energy in a diet and balancing that with what capacity I've got to do. So we have chosen these soups. We're staying on pretty much on this menu until I go to Perth. Then the next thing, and I have some stewed apples with it as well, or some sort of fruit. I've done stewed apples, oranges, mandarins, anything like that. Whatever's in the house, I'll have a serve of fruit with it as well. Before I train, I have cottage cheese, lemon curd, which I've made. My lemon curd has become almost iconic amongst my clients at the moment. Everyone is loving it. Here, my daughters, don't stick your finger in it. Ew. Here, you taste it. Yeah, clients are absolutely loving that at the moment. So I have rice crackers, lemon curd, and cottage cheese. So I eat that for a training meal. And then we have our dinner, which this week, dinner is what changes, but again, it doesn't change that much. I've just reduced a little bit of the carbs. I didn't actually have to reduce them much this time. It was more about reducing protein for me in this deficit. So I'm doing bang bang chicken, which is just a spice mix, and it's got equal parts brown sugar, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and then salt, and I just put water in it to make a paste. Here's a bowl. You can see that it just kind of goes pasty. Rub it all over some chicken thighs, throw them in the air fryer. Chicken is done. Look at that. And I'll just chop them up. I mean, I could chop it up now, but I'm too lazy. I just chop it up on the night. Dean has a different amount of protein to me because he's a man and he's bigger. And then I'll do some rice noodles. That's the last thing I've got to do. So I'll just boil off some rice noodles. You see, the light noodles just made out of rice. That's the brand I use. So I'll just cook off some of those. I like to just put a really light coating of oil and toss it through before I pop it in the fridge. So they will be cooked, ready to go. And Coles and Woolies do, it's called rainbow coleslaw, but it's pretty much just really thin strips of carrot, beetroot, bean shoots. So that's like the crunch in it, but also a little bit of fibre, a little bit of vegetables in it as well. So we have that. And then I'll either have a glass of vanilla milk or a couple of squares of chocolate afterwards, just depending on what I'm feeling like, but they're around the same calories. So I'm not missing out on anything. This lemon, what did you think of the lemon curd?
Yummy.
Yummy. Do you want me to make you some?
Can I just have a bowl of it?
Can you just have a bowl of it now? Right.
Just a little bowl.
Hang on.
I haven't had breakfast.
Do you want some cottage cheese with it?
Oh yeah.
Do you want some crackers with it? No. All right, sorry, just feeding my daughter. Yeah, so that's all I'm doing for a diet, and it really, really is that simple. I don't change things much at all. Oh, and the Bang Bang chicken, that was the other thing. I do a yogurt dressing, so a sweet chili yogurt dressing. It's got sweet chili, honey, lime juice, yogurt, I don't know, super low calorie. Oh, soy sauce, super low calorie. This spice mix and dressing recipe is in, I've got a macro manipulation meal guide that I give to all my clients, and basically it's just like a heap of different spices, marinades, dressings that you can mix and match with different proteins and carbs like I've done here to make different meals up. And it's really, really easy to keep your macros in check, especially with other people in the family. So that's how we like to do things. I just separate them out, and then on the day when I actually put it all together, I just use masking tape, and you can see I keep crossing things out and rewriting on there, and just put that on the lids of all the meals, and that way Dean knows what I'm eating, he knows what he's eating, so it's all written on there. So I'll have Dean's amount of chicken, my amount of chicken, and then either of us can serve one another up, and we know what one another is having, and we don't have to worry about it. So that's all in the fridge, ready to go. Spending some time on the weekend or whatever day of the week, whatever it is, getting yourself meal prepped is key. And I don't care if you've got health goals, body composition goals or not. We are all busy women in this modern world. I don't know how you can afford not to meal prep. Hey, baby girl. She's had that mouthful. She's a meal prepper now too. So she's moved out of home, but even before she moved out of home and started doing all of her own food, she's a meal prepper. I'm actually going to do a podcast with my daughter. I'm putting her in the shit here. She keeps saying yes, and we haven't done it yet. But she actually did a bodybuilding competition, and she did amazing. Did pull out of the second show because her body wasn't reacting the way it should. It was under a lot of stress. So we'll talk a bit about that as well. I think it'll be really interesting for women to hear the different styles of dieting and what I do with women, so it becomes a lifestyle lean, and it does take longer to get there to be healthy compared to what a bodybuilder does. But you'll notice that bodybuilders never stay, well, one, they never stay that low, and I would never take anyone that low, that stage low, but they never live lean. They're forever building into a surplus and cutting back. So if you actually just want to live a lifestyle lean, going really hard the way a bodybuilder does is not the way to do it, because your body goes under so much stress. And this is what the podcast will be about, her experience, but also so everyone can understand the stresses that that type of dieting can actually do to you. Yeah, so I'll get her on the podcast. I'll pin her down at some stage. She has been working lots, so I'll give her that. But there you go. There's everything for today. I hope you're all enjoying your Sundays. Please, again, Sharon, I will send you that carrot document for you. I'll jump into the DMs after this and send it off. The person asking, sorry, it's a bit hard to read your username, asking about detoxing. If you want to know about the foods and things like that, just flick me a message, Optimal, and I can send you some guides around foods that optimize your body so it naturally detoxes on its own. And happy to talk more about shifting out of keto or ketosis into a more normal style diet if that's what you're looking for. And enjoy your Sunday, everyone. I am going to go and finish cooking some noodles, and then I am done for the day.